And welcome guys to another little video. Now today's little video is just going to be a continuation of the last one where we done ammunition onto the screen. Now the next one that we're doing right now is going to involve putting the health right here. Now this health, we can also add a string into this that says health, or later on we may do an image. I haven't decided yet for these two, but we may expand on this later on. Just depends on how many views it gets and how interested people are. So by liking on it and commenting, hey, maybe we want an image instead, you can, get a different video on this subject. If you don't, then, it's just a shot in the dark for me. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, I don't have a way to actually hurt myself right now, so I'm going to have to do a nice little jump or something. And you'll see right now we've got 100. And when I hit the ground, 69. Okay. And how we achieve this is simple. We have a nice little script for our soldier health, which it doesn't have to be this exact script. You can write it in a different way. It does not matter. Then we've got our stats script here. Okay, and all I did was put an image in here, put it where we want to put it. Okay, like the bottom right corner. Very commonplace. It's not that big of a deal. The sprite that I'm using, I will be linking it in the description below. Hopefully Google Drive will let me, make it downloadable for you guys. If not, then, sorry. I don't have any other way. And that's basically about it. And we have a text component below it. A lot of times in the component base like this, I'll put broken, okay, here, alright, as the default, because of one specific reason. If this ever shows up or something like that, I know something isn't running, okay? I know this runs and runs perfectly fine, but when I'm testing and you're like trying to code out or something, you may want this to happen like this, okay? Broken, or just have it blank, so that the script is doing something, or it's not doing anything and you've got nulls. Okay? So all I did was put a text component in there. Text component. The image, I don't swap the image or anything crazy like that, just because I want this to be as basic as possible so that everyone can use this, not just in my kit that I'm designing here for you guys, but you can take this somewhere else, because that's the whole point of it, right? That's the whole gist of it. So, before we go into a rant and everything else, let me get into Visual Studio for you guys, and we'll pop up some code. Okay, so we have our stats class here. I don't think you actually need this right here, but this is a way to do the default execution order, to do it in code. I just back it up like way a whole lot, because this is one of those things that have to exist. We got a reference, a static reference. Now in start we set the static reference, just basic stuff. Text components, a text component and a character image. This right here is for something else, so we don't need to know this. Okay, now we have our health. Okay, health is part of a little class that I made that's for sending information, which in this basic version of it, which sender can be used for a lot of other things. Anything that needs a name and an integer value is a sender. We can use this, okay? Reference it and all kinds of good stuff. Okay, sender ammunition is in the other video that is in the channel that deals with the ammunition, and I'm not going to go into that one because it's not part of this video. This one is specifically for the health component itself, okay? So if you want to know the ammunition one version of this, then please go to that video. It's in my channel. If I remember, I'll link it in the description, but the minimal, I'll link the playlist, okay? I know the playlist will be there, and it'll be a good way to do this, okay? Now we have a serializable class right here, which doesn't have to be there, but it is, okay? So we can see it in the inspector and debug and stuff. It has to be public, and it has to be outside the class brackets, okay? This is where this class ends, this mono behavior. So it's outside of it. So you can also make this a single file as well. But, you know, that's just how you want to do things. Now, sender requires a string and an integer, okay? A string and an integer. And because we need an amount, but we also need the name too. Because just because I have numbers on the screen doesn't mean that in the next game, like you guys have, you guys will not, if I can talk today, you guys might want the name health in there, okay? And later on, we might do another version which requires a image, okay? So we're going to extend this probably a little further for an image maybe later on. If you guys want, you know, it's kind of that thing, okay? Sender has a basic constructor that's just blank. This is for the creation of the class, okay? And public sender that requires an overload of the integer a. This is for setting it into the inspector. Like, okay, let's take an instance like this. We go sender, okay, s equals new sender, and a lot of times this will be blank, right? Well, in my version, because of this right here, I can also throw in 99 if I want, okay? I can put a value here and automatically set this, okay? I don't care about the name, but I do care about the basic value of this, okay? And that's why that's there. Now, we could do another one in here that does the other stuff, okay? Which means sender a, string n for name, bloop, and now we have one for the string, okay? Name equals n, okay? Now we can go up here in a nice little thing and go sender s equals new sender, and we have a string version of it, goes hey, and goes 99, and bam, and we can use this to create stuff, okay? Very, very powerful, very, very kind of advanced as well. So if you guys are not comfortable doing it that way, then you could do it the other way and doing s dot and stuff like that, okay? Because it's not very difficult. I'll leave these in here so you guys can copy it, but it's not required or anything of that nature. Now we have this public setup that only does the integer, okay? Now, big important thing. This is a function for setting something, okay? These are constructors for creating a class, okay? Big difference. Creation of new memory, setting what's already there, okay? So, don't use this unless you're making a new class in memory. Okay? Big important thing. Do not use unless you're making new stuff. Okay? This is the same thing. Use this for setting up the class without making a new without using more memory. There we go. That sounds the best way. Okay, that's the best way I think you can. Don't use this unless you're making a new class in memory. Use this for setting up the class without using more memory. Because in order to use this, you already have to have one constructed. Okay. And this has to be virtual. Okay. This has to be virtual and public and stuff. Because we need to set these from another class. Okay. And that's pretty much it for this class. Okay. So in health, okay, don't worry about this because this is part of the link to go to the Google Doc. You don't have to worry about that. But we had to make a start method to update the UI as soon as this class is instantiated. So as soon as our guy gets into the world, he's got a health component. We need to update the UI with that status, okay, in case we died or something of that nature, right? Now, in our take damage function, we have this destroy call. Very important. Do not call this after this destroy call, okay? Because here's what happens. It gets destroyed, and then this may never get called, okay? It might, but if you start having issues and everything else, it's probably due because your UGUI call is not being called before destroy. Okay? I don't know if it'll do it, but it's just bad practice to set stuff up after the object's been destroyed. Okay? It may not cause an issue, but I suspect it will. Now, the fall damage is the same way. The destroy call is down here, and you make sure your call to the UGUI, or that's what I'm calling the update method for the UGI, the screen stuff. Okay? And that's it. Now, in the UGUI call, this is private to the class. No other class needs to call this besides this one. Okay? Because this is doing that specific job. Now, I have a float here. One takes our maximum health, okay, our max health, because we set that, and it's kind of something that never goes like above. And two, if you want to add armor later on, like a buff, you want to increase your maximum health by like 50 or something. You don't want to do all the other math stuff, just later on, because if we have armor, we could say, hey, if this object is not null, your maximum health is 200, okay? But if you don't have armor, you've got 100 health, okay? Which means if you do not do it this way, between the maximum and then how much you've taken in total, then you'll have to do like a whole bunch of weird math. And every time you take damage, you're going to have to do that crazy math. You know, go, hey, do you got this, 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 and it just becomes a plugged up mess. Okay. So we do have a variable for sender, which we've already seen. I'm going to call this health sender. Okay. And all we do is take our maximum health minus the damage we've already taken. So our maximum health, example, max is 100, damage taken is 20, nice round number, then this equals 100 minus 20 equals 80. So because of the way our health script works, it uses an integer, and because I don't like floating point numbers and stuff, I parsed it into an integer. I have it treat it as an integer. Now, the thing about this is not the cheapest thing. What it does is it rounds it every time it goes up. But the problem is doing it with a float. I don't want that floating point number thing, like 99.999999999. It's stupid, okay? This int is to get to cut off the 89.9999991. Okay? Because the floating point numbers are stupid to display. They're stupid to display. Okay? Because they are. Nobody wants to hear that 9999999 hell. Okay? Nobody wants to see that crap. I don't want to see that crap, and I don't want to see it either. So we take this t, okay, and we make sure that we treat this as an integer, and that's all that it's doing. Okay, we're putting t in here, but before the t, we call this up to be treated as an integer, and it just cuts off that 99999 crap. Okay, because it just looks dumb. Okay, so we've done the setup. Okay, this is the setup of. So in our sender class, our sender class, all the values are set up. Like it's ready to be launched to the menu. And this is where this static reference thing comes into play. Because static stats, the class, okay, then we have the menu stats. We've got access, which is this call, and then set health, and we send it the class that we have, that holds up all our information, like our name of what it is, if we want it there to display, and then we also got the integer as well. So we send it to class, and in this class right here for sender, we take care of all the display stuff. So any formatting or something like that that's weird, we take care of it in the class that's treating it. The data side is in the health class. We just send it the data. It sorts out the data and displays it. But we pass it a variable, the sender class, the reference. That's all. I mean, this sorts the data into the display and makes it look on screen. Okay? So this is the sending call into the display class, which that's just pretty much how it is. This is the data being set up before the screen is updated. Okay, that's basically as I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. I'm serious. It's just the way it is, guys. Sorry if it's a little confusing, but I think that's pretty much it. So, thanks guys for watching. I hope it was easy enough to follow. I mean, you know I skipped over the part of how to add an image to the UI and stuff, but there's plenty of tutorials for adding an image to the screen and stuff, and it's pretty intuitive anyway. You just right click and boom, there you go. If you're used to any of the components in Unity, there it is. I mean, it's, I don't want to add another 5 minutes to the video because no one would watch it. But take care, guys. Peace out. And remember, the stuff is, any information you need is in the item description below. The playlist is there, and the image should be there. If it doesn't work, then I'm sorry. I can't probably share it with Google Docs, and I'll try Dropbox later on or something. But please let me know if it doesn't work in the comments. That way I know that it's either good or bad for you. So peace out and take care. This is War over and out.